Today, we're bringing the 25 most haunting ghost legends of California back to life. Number 25, White Lady of Elysian Park. Tucked within the rolling hills of Elysian Park in Los Angeles, a ghostly figure has stirred unease for decades. Locals know her as the White Lady, a silent, sorrowful spirit who glides along the winding trails near Chavez Ravine. Her pale figure, wrapped in a flowing gown, is often spotted at dusk or in the early fog of morning. Some say she's searching for something or someone she lost long ago. Eyewitnesses have described how the air seems to grow colder before she appears, and how everything around suddenly falls still. Joggers and dog walkers have reported glimpses of a woman in white standing near the edge of the path, her long dark hair covering her face. When approached, she simply vanishes, leaving behind only silence and chills. No one has ever spoken with her, but her presence is unforgettable. Stories about her origins vary. Some believe she was a bride who died on her wedding day, while others claim she was a heartbroken mother who lost her child and never recovered. Though there are no official records to confirm either tale, sightings have remained consistent for generations. Locals pass down her story as a cautionary legend, and many still avoid the park's quietest areas after dark. To this day, the White Lady remains one of Los Angeles' most famous ghostly figures. In a city known for movie stars and bright lights, her story reminds us that some spirits don't fade with time. They stay behind, walking the same paths, bound by sorrow and mystery. And if you find yourself alone in Elysian Park, you might just catch a glimpse of her, gliding silently through the mist. Number 24, the Blue Lady of Moss Beach. Perched above the rugged Pacific coastline in Moss Beach, Frank's Place, now the Moss Beach Distillery, has long been known for its stunning views and cozy atmosphere. But for nearly a century, it's also been known for its most mysterious guest, the Blue Lady. Her legend begins in the 1930s, when a beautiful woman often visited the bar, dressed in a flowing blue gown. She was said to be in love with a man who wasn't her husband. One night, after sneaking away to meet him on the beach below, she disappeared forever. Since then, diners and staff have reported strange occurrences: silverware moving on its own, chilly breezes inside closed rooms, and the sudden scent of perfume in empty hallways. The Blue Lady is often seen gliding near the stairs, or appearing briefly in mirrors. The jukebox has even been known to play old love songs without being touched. Guests have felt gentle taps on their shoulder, only to turn around and find no one there. Despite her eerie appearances, the Blue Lady is considered a peaceful spirit. Paranormal investigators have captured odd lights, shadowy figures, and recordings of soft whispers late at night. Some believe she's tied to the place where she once found happiness and heartbreak. Her ghost isn't angry, just lonely, still seeking the love she lost so long ago. Today, the restaurant is a popular destination for food, scenery, and ghost stories. Many come for the clam chowder, but leave wondering if they saw a glimpse of something, or someone, extraordinary. Whether she's real or legend, the Blue Lady continues to charm and chill visitors with her silent presence. Number 23, Joaquin Murrieta, the Headless Bandit. Joaquin Murrieta came to California during the gold rush with high hopes and a desire for a better life. but what he found was discrimination, violence, and tragedy. After his wife was attacked and his brother was murdered by vigilantes, Murrieta took justice into his own hands. He became a legendary outlaw, stealing from the rich and fighting against those who had wronged him, earning the title Robin Hood of the West. In 1853, a group of California Rangers claimed to have captured and killed Murrieta. To prove it, they displayed a severed head in a jar, touring towns across the state. But many questioned the truth of the story. Some said the head didn't resemble him. Others believed he had escaped. That same year, travelers began reporting strange sightings. A headless rider galloping across the California countryside on a black horse under the light of the moon. The ghost, they said, wore a black coat and rode with supernatural speed. He didn't speak, didn't stop, and left behind only the sound of thundering hooves. Some believe this headless spirit is Murrieta himself, doomed to roam the land where he sought justice. Others think it's a warning to those who deal in betrayal. Either way, the legend took on a life of its own, surviving well beyond his death. Today, the Headless Bandit is part of California folklore. His ghost has been seen near gold country, in remote canyons, and along forgotten trails. The debate about his true fate may never be settled, but his story, filled with pain, vengeance, and restless energy, continues to haunt the West. Whether he's a symbol of rebellion or revenge, Joaquin Murrieta's ghost still rides. Number 22. Winchester Mystery House Spirits. In San Jose, California, stands one of the most mysterious mansions in America, the Winchester Mystery House. Built by Sarah Winchester, widow of the heir to the rifle fortune, this sprawling home stretches across 160 rooms and is filled with oddities, stairs that lead nowhere, doors that open into walls, and windows that look into secret passageways. Sarah believed she was haunted by spirits of those killed by Winchester rifles, and she built day and night to confuse them. Sarah's construction continued non-stop for 38 years, guided by messages she claimed to receive from ghosts during nightly seances. She rarely met with strangers and only trusted a handful of workers. Every door, staircase, and hallway was added for a reason, though many never made sense. She believed that if she kept building, the spirits would never catch her, but if she stopped, they would take her life. Even after her death in 1922, the house never lost its eerie atmosphere. Visitors report seeing shadowy figures in corners, feeling cold drafts, and hearing footsteps when no one is there. One recurring spirit is said to be a former handyman, appearing in dusty work clothes. Others believe Sarah herself still roams the halls, checking on the never-ending construction she once oversaw with such obsession. Today, the Winchester Mystery House is open to the public, but not all who enter leave convinced it's just a quirky home. Many believe it's still inhabited by the very ghosts Sarah tried to outrun. With its creaking floors, dark hallways, and puzzling design, it remains one of California's most haunted homes, a place where legend and architecture merge, and where spirits may still walk the halls. Number 21. La Llorona, the Weeping Woman. Though her roots trace back to Mexico, the legend of La Llorona, the Weeping Woman, has haunted the rivers and lakes of California for generations. Her story is as tragic as it is terrifying. Long ago, La Llorona was said to be a beautiful woman who drowned her own children in a fit of rage or despair, then took her own life. Denied entry to the afterlife, she's cursed to wander forever, crying out for her lost children and seeking to take others in their place. In California, her ghost is often reported near waterways in places like Los Angeles, Santa Ana, and the Central Valley. People say they've heard her cries late at night, long, sorrowful wails echoing across riverbanks or through storm drains. Some children even grow up with warnings. If you hear La Llorona's voice, don't follow it. Stay away from the water, or she might mistake you for her own. Many tales describe her as a tall woman in white, her face hidden by a veil or soaked in tears. She drifts near lakes and rivers, sometimes appearing out of nowhere. Some say she beckons children with open arms before vanishing. Others claim she curses those who see her. One famous story tells of a family driving through the San Gabriel Valley who saw her standing by the roadside, only for her to disappear when they turned around. What makes La Llorona's legend so haunting is how deeply it's rooted in culture and warning. For many families, her story is both folklore and life lesson, a ghostly reminder to stay safe, honor your loved ones, and beware of what lurks in the night. In California, her legend continues to echo, carried by the wind, whispered by rivers, and passed down by generations who still believe her spirit cries somewhere nearby. Number 20, Yankee Jim Robinson. In 1852, James Yankee Jim Robinson was convicted of stealing a boat in San Diego, a petty crime by today's standards. But in those rough frontier days, justice came swiftly and harshly. Yankee Jim was sentenced to hang. The execution took place on a dry patch of land that would later become home to one of America's most haunted locations, the Whley House. Years later, Thomas Whley built his family home on that very site. But from the beginning, things didn't feel right. Whley himself wrote in his journal about hearing heavy footsteps, as if someone in boots was stomping through the hallways. Visitors and staff alike have claimed to see a tall, ghostly man near the staircase, the very spot where Yankee Jim was hanged. Some feel chills sweep over them as they pass, while others report hearing a raspy voice whispering from nowhere. Dogs often growl at empty rooms, and photos taken inside are sometimes mysteriously blurry or filled with strange orbs. While the Whley family endured other tragedies, like the tragic suicide of their daughter Violet, it is Yankee Jim's restless presence that seems most deeply tied to the land. Paranormal investigators have recorded odd knocks, sudden cold drafts, and even ghostly voices that answer questions. He's become a signature spirit of the home, his story woven into its walls. Today, the Whley House stands as a museum, welcoming thousands of visitors each year. Many come for the history, but just as many come hoping to feel that eerie presence. After all these years, it seems Yankee Jim still has unfinished business beneath the floorboards of San Diego's most famous haunted house. Number 19, Bods Old Woman of Gregory House. Bods, California is a ghost town in more ways than one. Once a booming gold mining town in the 1800s, it's now a preserved historical site frozen in time. While its buildings stand in arrested decay, something else lingers in the abandoned rooms. Among the many ghost stories tied to Bods, the tale of the old woman of Gregory House is one of the most quietly haunting. She's said to be the sorrowful spirit of a woman who never left, grieving, waiting, and watching. Park rangers and tourists have reported strange occurrences near the Gregory house. Soft crying at night, the sound of footsteps pacing upstairs, and sudden cold spots even in summer heat. Some claim to have seen her pale figure gazing out the window in a high-necked dress, her face shadowed and full of sadness. She never speaks but seems to plead with her eyes, perhaps for company or perhaps for release. Folklore suggests she may have been a miner's wife who died alone during a harsh winter, or a mother who lost her child to sickness and could never move on. Whatever her true story, she appears only to those who approach the home quietly, as if she doesn't want to be seen but cannot stop herself from looking. The sorrow she carries seems to be sewn into the very wood of the building. Visitors are warned not to take anything from Buddy, not even a pebble. Those who ignore the warnings often return the items after suffering misfortune, blaming it on the body curse. Whether or not the curse is real, the old woman remains part of the town's eerie charm, reminding us that even in silence, some spirits speak volumes. Number 18. Temeculas Headless Cowboy. Now known for wine and sunshine, hold a much darker legend from California's wilder past. In the late 1800s, when ranching and cattle drives shaped the land, a brutal feud turned deadly. One tale from that time tells of a cowboy caught in a violent ambush. Some say during a robbery, others claim it was over stolen cattle. Either way, the poor soul lost his life and his head. Ever since, locals have spoken of a rider who gallops across the hills, headless and silent. Sightings usually happen at dusk, when the sky turns gold and purple. A figure on horseback rides fast through the canyons, his hatless body upright in the saddle, but his neck ending in nothing. His horse, dark and powerful, makes no sound and vanishes without a trace. Some say the rider searches for his missing head, doomed to wander forever. Others believe he rides in warning, reminding those nearby of old violence never settled. Hikers and campers have reported hearing galloping hooves that stop suddenly, though no horse is ever seen. Others describe strange winds and flickering lantern lights in the distance, only to find no one there. Those who dare to follow the sound say it always leads to the same place, a ridge overlooking an old cattle trail once soaked with blood. Though Temecula has changed, its spirit world still lingers. The Headless Cowboy remains one of its creepiest local legends, a silent shadow in the land of vineyards and oak trees. Even the locals who don't believe in ghosts tend to head home before the light fades, just in case the rider returns. Number 17. Validito, Stage Robber. In the windswept deserts of Southern California, near the crumbling remnants of the old Butterfield stage route, there's a legend that still rides the dust. One of a stagecoach robber who tried to cheat death but couldn't outrun it. In the mid-1800s, a mysterious bandit was said to have buried a stolen strongbox in the desert near Validito Station, planning to retrieve it later. Disguised in a long duster coat and a flour sack with eye holes cut out, the outlaw vanished into the sands, but never made it back. Weeks later, travelers came across a strange sight. Near Validito, the bones of a man were found, still wrapped in a weathered coat and with the sack still over his skull. Next to him was a rusted pistol and a shovel stuck deep in the ground. It was clear he had been digging, perhaps trying to recover the treasure, but he hadn't succeeded. Over time, this strange death became local lore, and the area gained a reputation for eerie sights and unsettling sounds. Campers and desert explorers have reported seeing a ghostly figure pacing the dunes at night, always wearing a long coat and that sack mask, shovel in hand. Some say he appears under the full moon, silently digging in the hard soil, as if still searching for something lost long ago. Others claim he vanishes when approached, leaving only shifting sand and a sense of dread behind. It's as if the desert refuses to let his secret die. The legend of the Validito stage robber endures not just for its mystery, but for its haunting setting, where history and heat blur the line between fact and folklore. Whether or not the treasure was ever real, the restless figure who wanders these dunes seems all too real to those who've crossed his path. Out in the California desert, some ghosts don't just haunt, they dig. Number 16, White Lady of Stow Lake. At the heart of Golden Gate Park in San Francisco lies the peaceful Stow Lake, a favorite spot for families and tourists. But when the fog creeps in and the crowds disappear, this calm setting takes on a different tone. The legend of the White Lady of Stow Lake has haunted locals for over a century. According to the tale, in the early 1900s, a woman pushing a baby carriage by the water lost track of her child. In a panic, she searched all night, but neither she nor the baby was ever seen again. Ever since, people claim to see a pale woman in a long white gown walking near the lake's edge, crying out for her lost baby. Some say she drifts silently across the water's surface, while others report hearing weeping coming from the bushes even when no one's there. A few brave souls have even said the ghostly figure approaches cars parked nearby, tapping on windows with a blank stare. The stories have become so common that locals began testing the legend. Some say if you call out, "White lady, I have your baby," she will appear in a rage. Others swear their car engines mysteriously stall when she's near. Park workers have reported strange lights after hours and feelings of being watched while locking up at night. No official explanation has ever been given for the sightings. Whether it's grief that keeps her spirit tethered to Stow Lake or something darker, the White Lady remains one of San Francisco's most famous ghost stories. Her sorrowful tale is passed down from generation to generation, a chilling reminder that even in the city's greenest spaces, echoes of the past can still whisper through the fog. Number 15, Kate Morgan, the Lady in Red. The Hotel del Coronado in San Diego is a coastal paradise, grand, historic, and full of charm. But behind its Victorian elegance hides one of California's most famous ghost stories. In 1892, a young woman named Kate Morgan checked into the hotel under a false name. She told staff she was waiting for her husband, but he never arrived. After days of wandering the halls alone, she was found dead on the steps leading to the beach, a gunshot wound in her head. The case was ruled a suicide, but many suspected foul play. Since then, guests staying in room 3327, where Kate reportedly slept, have shared spine-chilling experiences. Lights flicker, phones ring with no caller, and objects move without explanation. Some have seen the figure of a woman in a dark red dress, gliding through the hallways. She never speaks, only stares with eyes that seem filled with quiet sorrow. Hotel staff have reported cold spots and sudden feelings of unease, especially late at night. Legend has it that Kate still searches for answers, maybe for the man who abandoned her, or maybe for peace she never found in life. Over the years, psychics and ghost hunters have visited the hotel, calling her one of the most active spirits in California. Her story has been featured in books, documentaries, and even paranormal investigations, but her true fate remains a mystery. Despite its beauty and sunny views, the Hotel del Coronado carries a chill after sunset. Kate Morgan's presence lingers, not out of menace, but of heartbreak. And to this day, those who stay in her room often leave with more than a vacation memory. They leave with a ghost story of their own. Number 14. Catherine Irvine, the Library Ghost. In the quiet halls of the Heritage Park Regional Library in Irvine, California, some visitors claim the past never left. The library sits near what was once the Irvine family ranch, and with it comes a story of a young woman named Catherine Irvine. A descendant of the pioneering Irvine family, Catherine was passionate about books, nature, and the land her family helped develop. Though her life was cut tragically short in the early 1900s, many believe her spirit still lingers among the shelves. Librarians and patrons have reported strange happenings over the years. Books fall without warning, computers freeze for no reason, and some say they've seen a pale woman in old-fashioned clothing gliding silently between aisles. She's often described as calm, even comforting, never threatening. One librarian recalled turning to speak to a woman in a long skirt, only to see her vanish into thin air before she could say a word. Security footage has picked up unexplained flickers, and some staff have reported hearing soft humming at closing time when the building is empty. Many believe it's Catherine, continuing her quiet love of reading and learning. Some say she watches over the children's section, as if making sure the next generation grows up with the same joy for knowledge she once had. While skeptics chalk it up to creaky floors or flickering lights, those who've experienced her presence firsthand tell a different story. Catherine Irvine's ghost isn't here to scare. She's here to stay connected to a place she once loved. In a modern city filled with movement, her gentle spirit reminds us that history and those who shaped it are never too far away. Number 13. Flo, Friendly Ghost of Jamestown. In the historic gold rush town of Jamestown, California, the National Hotel stands as a preserved piece of the 1800s. But behind its polished charm and vintage rooms lies the story of a spirit named Flo. According to legend, Flo was a young woman who lived in the town and fell in love with a miner who promised to return with fortune. On the eve of their wedding, he was killed in a saloon brawl. Devastated, Flo took her own life in the hotel, her heart broken and her future gone. Guests at the National Hotel have reported seeing a woman in a flowing white dress standing at the window of an upstairs room, gazing into the distance as if still waiting for someone. Others say they felt a cool breeze brush past them in the hallway, or heard soft weeping behind closed doors. The hotel staff even keep a logbook of guest experiences, with stories dating back decades. Unlike many ghost tales, Flo is known for her gentle nature. She's been credited with tucking in blankets, closing windows, and leaving behind the scent of lavender. Some believe she simply wants company, someone to talk to, or someone to notice she's still around. On rare occasions, guests have awakened to find the rocking chair in their room swaying slowly on its own. Flo's legend has become part of the charm of Jamestown, drawing ghost hunters and curious travelers from around the country. Though her story is one of loss, her presence is warm, almost like a memory that refuses to fade. In a town built on dreams and heartbreak, Flo's spirit continues to offer a soft whisper from the past. Number 12. Niles Canyon, Ghost Girl. Just outside Fremont, California, Niles Canyon Road winds through rocky hills and dense trees. It's a scenic route by day, but when night falls, it becomes the setting of one of California's eeriest urban legends, the Ghost Girl of Niles Canyon. The story tells of a young woman who died in a car accident on prom night decades ago, somewhere near the canyon bridge. Since then, many drivers have reported encountering her, lost, alone, and asking for a ride home. The tale usually begins the same way. A driver sees a girl in a formal dress walking along the roadside with a dazed expression. She flags them down and politely asks for help. After giving an address in nearby Sunol or Pleasanton, she climbs into the back seat. But by the time they reach the destination, she's vanished, leaving behind only a cold chill or a single damp footprint on the car seat. Local police have long denied any official record of such an accident, but the sightings continue. Some say she appears every February 28th, the rumored anniversary of her death. Others have even claimed their cars stalled near the spot where she's said to appear, only to start again moments later, as if released from an invisible grip. The Ghost Girl of Niles Canyon has become part of the region's folklore, passed down by generations of drivers. Whether it's a cautionary tale or something more real, those who've seen her never forget her face or the eerie silence that follows. Along that lonely canyon road, the past may still be trying to find its way home. Number 11. Lucy Bell Lane. In the dusty hills of San Bernardino County lies Calico, a once booming silver mining town that now rests as a preserved ghost town. Among its weathered buildings and windswept streets, one spirit is said to linger more than most, Lucy Bell Lane. She wasn't a miner or a gunslinger, but rather a pioneer woman who played a vital role in Calico's early days. Lucy lived in the town for over 60 years, ran a general store, and became known for her kindness and strength during tough times. Though she passed away in 1967, many believe Lucy never truly left. Visitors walking through the restored buildings often report feeling a calm presence, especially near the Lane house, which was her longtime home. Some say they've seen a woman in old-fashioned clothing sitting quietly by the window, or felt a warm breeze pass through a closed room. Others report hearing soft footsteps, or the rustling of skirts in empty hallways. What makes Lucy's ghost unique is her reputation as a friendly figure. Rather than frightening guests, she's believed to be watching over the town she loved so dearly. Tour guides often share stories of children saying they saw a nice lady waving at them, even when no one was there. Her presence is seen more as protective than paranormal, as if she's still tending to Calico in her own quiet way. Calico may be empty of its original residents, but Lucy Bell Lane remains a symbol of its enduring spirit. In a town built on grit and dreams, her ghost reminds visitors of the real lives that once filled these streets. As long as Calico stands, it seems Lucy will continue to welcome those who come to remember. Number 10. Elellaner, ghost of the Sperry and Perry Hotel. Nestled in the heart of California's gold country, the town of Murphys holds stories from a time when fortune seekers filled its streets. One of the town's oldest and most historic buildings is the Sperry and Perry Hotel, dating back to the 1850s. Among the many tales whispered in its halls, one name stands out: Elellaner. She is said to be the spirit of a woman who once lived, or perhaps died, within the hotel's walls, and has stayed behind ever since. Guests and staff have long reported eerie happenings. Lights flicker, doors creak open without a breeze, and faint sobbing has been heard late at night. The most frequent reports come from room 11, where people claim to feel watched or hear footsteps pacing the floor above, even when no one is there. Some guests have woken to find the covers pulled up gently, as if by a caring hand. No one knows for sure who Elellaner was. Some believe she was a bride-to-be whose fiancé never returned from the goldfields. Others say she was a lonely guest who never checked out. Her story remains a mystery, but her presence is deeply felt. Hotel staff have embraced her legend, often leaving flowers in her honor and sharing stories with curious travelers. Murphys thrives today as a charming tourist destination, but the past still lingers within its walls. Elellaner's gentle spirit is part of what makes the old hotel so captivating. She may never speak, but her quiet footsteps, her sighs, and the chill in the air remind guests that history has a heartbeat, and it still echoes in Murphys. Number 9. Thomas Whley. San Diego's Whley House is often called one of the most haunted homes in America, and it's not just because of its chilling atmosphere. Among the many spirits said to roam its rooms, one name stands above the rest: Thomas Whley himself. He was the founder of the house, a successful businessman who built it in 1857 on the grounds of San Diego's old public gallows. Despite this grim location, Whley hoped to create a beautiful home for his growing family. The house was full of tragedy. Several members of the Whley family died young, and the building also housed a courtroom, a general store, and even a theater. Over the years, visitors and staff have reported cold spots, mysterious shadows, and strange voices echoing through the halls. Some say they've seen a tall man in old-fashioned clothes standing in the parlor, believed to be Thomas keeping watch over his home. Even skeptics find it hard to ignore the house's atmosphere. Cameras malfunction, doors slam without warning, and guests often feel an invisible weight pressing down on them. Some say Thomas appears near the staircase, the very spot where a man named Yankee Jim Robinson was hanged years before the house was built. It's as if the land itself holds on to its past. Though Thomas Whley passed away in 1890, many believe he remains tied to the house he once called home. His spirit, along with those of his family, seems unwilling to leave. The Whley house may now be a museum, but for some, it still feels like someone's watching. Perhaps it's Thomas, still guarding the legacy he worked so hard to build. Number 8. Lady in White. Docked in Long Beach, the RMS Queen Mary is no ordinary ship. Once a grand ocean liner and wartime transport, she now rests as a hotel and museum, and perhaps one of the most haunted places in California. Among the many ghost stories tied to the ship, the most well-known is that of the Lady in White. Dressed in a flowing gown from the 1930s or 40s, she's often seen gliding through the ship's former first-class lounges and salons, appearing as though she never realized the journey ended. The lady in white is said to be elegant, her presence calm but chilling. Guests have spotted her dancing silently in the shadows of the old music room, where a piano sometimes plays without a player. Others report the scent of lavender perfume lingering in the air just before she appears. She never speaks, but her energy seems to stir the air as if echoing the glamour and sorrow of another time. Historians believe she may have been a passenger who died aboard during one of the Queen Mary's many voyages across the Atlantic. Some say she was a young woman who perished tragically, separated from her loved one during the chaos of wartime. Whether her story is one of lost love or unfinished dreams, her spirit seems forever tied to the ship she once sailed. The Queen Mary has seen decades of history, from luxury crossings to naval duty, but it's the lady in white who keeps the past alive. With her graceful figure and mysterious presence, she reminds us that even on a ship long anchored in place, some souls continue to wander, searching, waiting, and haunting the decks they once called home. Number 7. Spirits of Lincoln Heights Jail. In East Los Angeles stands the long-abandoned Lincoln Heights Jail, a crumbling structure that once held some of the city's most notorious criminals. Built in 1927, the jail operated for over 5 decades, housing mobsters, protesters, and troubled souls. Today it's known less for its history and more for the ghostly energy that clings to its cell blocks and corridors. Paranormal investigators have long claimed that the spirits of former inmates never left. Strange noises echo through the building, even when it's empty. Disembodied whispers, dragging footsteps, and sudden slamming doors are common reports. Some claim to see shadowy figures, lurking in corners or peering through the tiny cell windows. Cold spots chill the air, and many who enter feel an overwhelming sense of sadness and anger, as if the jail still remembers every injustice it ever held. Among the reported spirits is that of a former inmate who allegedly died in solitary confinement under mysterious circumstances. Witnesses describe hearing moans and the clinking of chains near the isolation cells. Others say they've seen a pale figure pacing near the holding areas, vanishing when approached. The ghostly presence seems restless, a reminder of pain that was never healed or acknowledged. Though the jail is now a decaying relic, its energy remains very much alive. The stories that haunt Lincoln Heights Jail are not just about crime. They're about suffering, loss, and unresolved echoes of the past. For those who dare to explore its ruins, it offers more than just empty cells. It offers a glimpse into lives interrupted, and perhaps still lingering behind locked doors. Number 6. Bodies Chinese-made. Body, California, once a booming gold rush town, now stands frozen in time as a ghost town. A place where wooden buildings lean in the wind and dust tells stories of lives long gone. But some say one resident never left, the ghost of a Chinese maid known only through whispers and legend. She worked for a wealthy family during Bodie's golden days, but her life ended in heartbreak, surrounded by accusations and prejudice that plagued the era. According to local lore, she was wrongly blamed for a theft that shook her employer's trust. Faced with humiliation and shame, the young maid reportedly took her own life. After her death, strange events began happening in the house where she worked. Teacups moved on their own, mirrors cracked without cause, and strange whispers echoed in the parlor. Visitors to Bodhi's historic buildings say the spirit still lingers. Some report seeing a woman in traditional Chinese clothing standing near windows or vanishing behind walls. Her energy is described as sorrowful, not threatening, as if she's trying to clear her name or find peace in a town that never gave her justice. Even park rangers have mentioned uneasy feelings in the old home where she once lived. While Bodhi is preserved as a state historic park, the ghost of the Chinese maid is a quiet reminder of the struggles faced by immigrants during the gold rush. Her presence turns a forgotten story into something that still lives on the wind. In a town where everything is still and quiet, she moves gently through time, waiting to be heard. Number 5, Mary Ellen Pleasant, the benefactor's ghost. Mary Ellen Pleasant was a powerful figure in 19th century San Francisco, known as a wealthy entrepreneur, abolitionist, and philanthropist. Born into slavery, she rose to become one of the most influential black women in California history. She helped fund the Underground Railroad and used her fortune to fight for civil rights. But as with many powerful people, rumors followed her. Some whispered that she practiced voodoo, while others claimed she had a mystical aura. After her death in 1904, those whispers turned into ghost stories. People began reporting sightings of a mysterious woman in black near the corner of Octavia and Bush Streets, close to where Pleasant's mansion once stood. They said the figure wore 1800-style mourning clothes, her face partly hidden beneath a black veil. Locals claimed to hear the rustling of skirts and feel sudden cold breezes when passing that corner, even on warm days. Some believe it's Mary Ellen herself, watching over the city she fought so hard to improve. Her ghost is not said to be angry or restless. Instead, it's described as dignified, powerful, and protective. Some even say she appears to women in distress, as if encouraging them to rise above hardship like she did. Historians argue her legend was twisted by racism and fear, but many San Franciscans today see her as a symbol of strength, both in life and in spirit. Mary Ellen Pleasant's presence continues to stir debate and fascination. Whether her ghost truly walks those San Francisco streets or not, her story is deeply rooted in the city's past. She fought for justice in life, and perhaps even in death, her watchful spirit still stands guard over the city she called home. Number 4, Anna Whley. The Whley House in San Diego is one of the most famous haunted houses in the United States. Built in 1857 by Thomas Whley, the home has seen more than its share of tragedy. But while many spirits are said to haunt its halls, one name comes up more than most: Anna Whley, the matriarch of the family. Known for her grace and strength, Anna lived through heartbreaking losses in the home, including the death of her young children. Visitors and staff at the museum often claim to see a woman in 19th century clothing, gliding through the parlor or appearing in upstairs windows. She's believed to be Anna, still tending to her beloved home. Some say they smell her lavender perfume or hear her footsteps on the stairs. Her presence isn't frightening, more like a mother watching over her house, unwilling to leave the memories behind. Anna's life was marked by both elegance and sorrow. She raised her children there, hosted dignitaries, and tried to maintain a sense of calm even as misfortune struck the Whley family again and again. Perhaps that deep emotional connection is why she remains. The house, after all, was not just a building, it was the heart of her world. Today, the Whley house draws ghost hunters and curious tourists from around the country. But for those who believe, Anna's quiet spirit lingers with purpose. She's not there to scare, but to stay close to the family and the life she built. In every creak of the floorboard and flicker of the light, some say you can still feel Anna Whley's love, eternal and unshaken. Number 3. Lady in Red of Port Costa's McEwen Road. Port Costa, a tiny town tucked along the Carquinez Strait, is home to one of California's lesser-known but deeply chilling ghost legends. Locals tell of a lady in red who haunts McEwen Road, a winding path lined with trees and old street lamps. According to town folklore, she was a woman from the late 1800s who worked in a nearby brothel. One night, she was brutally murdered and left by the roadside, her identity never confirmed. Since then, her spirit has been tied to that lonely road. Drivers say they've seen her appear suddenly on foggy nights, wearing a long red dress with blood on the hem. Some report that she tries to hitch a ride or walks toward the car before vanishing into thin air. Others claim to hear her crying softly just beyond the headlights. Her face, pale and sorrowful, is often described as unforgettable. No one who's seen her forgets the eerie chill that follows. The legend of the Lady in Red has been passed down through generations of Port Costa residents. Some believe she seeks justice, while others think she simply longs to be acknowledged. Whatever her reason, her story has become part of the town's identity, a ghostly reminder of the dangers and heartbreak hidden in its past. Though Port Costa is quiet now, McEwen Road holds the echo of a life cut short. The Lady in Red is not just a tale for campfires, she's a symbol of mystery, grief, and the kind of ghost story that lingers long after the drive is over. In that silence under the dim streetlights, some say she's still waiting to be seen. Number 2. White Lady, National Exchange Hotel. Tucked in the Sierra foothills, the National Exchange Hotel in Nevada City is one of California's oldest continuously operating hotels. Since opening in the 1850s, it has hosted gold miners, outlaws, and travelers seeking fortune. But among the hotel's most talked about guests is one who never checked out, the mysterious White Lady. Her story is wrapped in tragedy. Most believe she was a young woman who took her own life after her lover left her behind during the Gold Rush era. She's said to drift silently through the halls, dressed in a flowing white gown. Staff and guests have spotted her near the grand staircase or gazing out of second-story windows. Some report feeling an icy chill when she passes, or the sudden scent of perfume with no one nearby. One cleaner even claimed she heard soft weeping behind her, only to find the hallway completely empty. The legend has become part of the hotel's identity, both chilling and sad. Unlike more frightening hauntings, the White Lady is described as peaceful, even gentle. Some believe she's waiting for someone to return, her spirit too heartbroken to move on. Others think she watches over the hotel with quiet affection, forever tied to the place that once held her hopes. Her presence isn't seen as a threat, but as a lingering reminder of love lost too soon. Today, the National Exchange Hotel embraces its ghostly resident with respect. Renovations have preserved the building's old-world charm, and many visitors secretly hope to spot the White Lady during their stay. Whether she's truly there or just a story passed down through generations, her tale still drifts through Nevada City like a whisper from another time. Number 1. 8-foot skeleton. In the dry, rugged landscape of California's Borrego Desert, an eerie tale has haunted the region for over a century, the legend of the 8-foot skeleton. This ghostly figure was first reported in the late 1800s when a prospector stumbled out of the desert claiming to have seen a towering skeleton-like creature glowing under the moonlight. He described it as nearly 8 feet tall, cloaked in tattered burial cloth and silently walking across the sand as if guarding something long buried. Over the decades, others have shared similar sightings. Desert travelers, campers, and even rangers have told of encountering a strange, skeletal figure moving unnaturally through the shadows. Some say it's accompanied by sudden drops in temperature or the sound of rattling bones. A few claim the ghost is linked to lost Spanish treasure or ancient burial grounds hidden beneath the dunes. Whatever the source, the legend has become one of California's most chilling desert mysteries. Locals believe the ghost may be a restless spirit of a Spanish conquistador or a cursed soul who died searching for riches and never found peace. The figure doesn't attack or chase. It simply appears, watches, and vanishes without a sound. It's the kind of presence that makes even seasoned hikers quicken their pace and glance over their shoulders. The dry wind and shifting sands only add to the unease. Today, the legend of the 8-foot skeleton continues to stir curiosity. Desert ghost tours and folklore books keep the story alive, reminding adventurers that the Borrego Desert holds more than rattlesnakes and cacti. It holds secrets. And when the moon rises over the empty desert, some still wonder if a tall, bone-thin figure is wandering nearby, forever guarding a mystery left to the sands of time. Now please tell us which legend did you like the most. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please click the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.